New this morning in international headlines, one of President Vladimir Putin's most loyal lieutenants turned the Wagner group of mercenary fighters he controls into an open mutiny against Putin's own military leadership. The armed revolt, which is the greatest challenge to Putin's control over his country, ended almost as quickly as it began, but it's uncertain what will happen next. ABC's M1 has the latest in Washington.
Apparent cracks emerging in Russian President Vladimir Putin's control of the nation he's led for decades following the most brazen challenge to his authority. Political analysts say Putin was dealt a humiliating blow this weekend after his close former ally and Wagner mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin marched into southern Russia with an armed rebellion, seizing a city and then marching towards Moscow with little resistance.
We've seen some very serious cracks emerge. You have Prigozhin publicly questioning the very premise for this Russian aggression against Ukraine in the first place. You have someone challenging Putin's leadership very publicly and very openly.
But then 120 miles from the capital, he abruptly halted his mutiny after a deal was apparently brokered. The Kremlin saying criminal charges against Prigozhin and his men would be dropped. Prigozhin was supposed to receive exile in Belarus and some of his men be folded into Russia's army. But a new report today says a criminal case against Prigozhin is still open. Putin initially denounced his former confidant, calling Prigozhin's actions a stab in the back. On the battlefield, Ukrainian President Zelensky warns Russia may be planning a potentially life-threatening attack on Zaporizhzhia, Europe's largest nuclear plant, calling on the world to help. This as Ukrainian troops are involved in fierce fighting on the front lines. Ukrainian soldiers successfully landing on the Russian-held eastern bank of the river in Kherson. Experts say if Ukraine can keep its foothold, it'll add further pressure on Russia's forces in the south already struggling against Ukraine's counteroffensive. Several major questions still remain, including where Prigozhin's whereabouts are and what consequences for the mutiny he might face from Putin, a leader known for executing his opponents for much less. M1, ABC News, Washington.